I noticed a shift in my brother's personality at the start of this year and didn't think much of it. Then our parents asked me to start spending extra time with him, taking him on hikes and to play basketball etc. with me. No big deal, we're not super close but do hang out occasionally. Then they started asking me to comment on girls in front of him, which seemed weird, so I didn't do it. I noticed he didn't have his phone one day, so I asked him if he forgot it and he told me he's being punished and not allowed to use it unless one of them watches him. I asked if he got caught looking at porn on it or something, but he really just wanted me to drop it, so I did. Later when I asked our parents about it, they told me his best friend and him had gotten caught with pills, which is why he's not allowed to see him anymore. I had already started feeling weird about how under lock and key my brother seemed and honestly didn't know if I should believe them or not. Like I had offered him weed before and he said no, so it just didn't seem like something he'd do. So I head to the Starbucks his best friend works at to see what he said / see if I needed to kick his ass over it, and he told me a very different story. He told me my brother was his boyfriend, that our parents caught them kissing and flipped out. Tossed him out and had made sure they couldn't see each other or even talk to each other, that he's been worried and trying anything or way he could to try to contact my brother, but he hadn't heard anything back. He showed me some messages and pics that confirm they are or were a couple. I thanked him for telling me and told him I'd do what I can to help him and my brother. So now here I am trying to figure out the best course of how to help my brother. I don't want to do any more damage to him than what they have done, so I'm nervous on if I should say something when he hasn't come out to me. I also have thought about letting him use my phone to contact his boyfriend or even getting my brother then getting his BF or taking him to him, but I don't want to get him in worse trouble or be cut off from him if our parents were to find out. What's the best way to handle this? Update 1. Wow, I never expected to get this much attention or advice. Thank you seriously to everyone. I read everything even if I didn't reply. First to those that asked and didn't see me already answer. He's 16, I'm 25 and I live fully on my own. To those that suggested I talk to my parents, trust me, I wanted and really wished to tell them off, but right now that is not the best option. I'm currently the only person they let him go out alone with, so if I go off on them or tell them, I know they will most likely cut me out, completely isolating him, which is not a good idea given how depressed he's been. The other day I ran to Starbucks twice looking to catch his boyfriend. Fortunately the second time he was there, so I was able to have him write a note for my brother. I figured it'd be best to have something to lead into the conversation, plus I wanted him to write his number down in case my brother doesn't know it off the top of his head to text him from my phone. I picked my brother up like normal and fought the urge to go off on my mom. I've never had the best relationship with my parents, but I can honestly say I hate them now. The game plan was supposed to be going for a hike, but I said let's get food instead cause I didn't want to hike. Plus I figured he might get emotional and I honestly didn't want him near cliffs or hiking emotional exhausted. I told him I actually had saw his friend and he gave me a letter to give to him, that it was in the glove box with my phone so he could text him if he wanted. I thought he was going to rip the door off the glove box when he opened it. He read the letter and started crying so bad that I pulled over. He didn't understand why I would help him. Apparently our fucking awful parents had him convinced that I would beat the shit out of him if I knew. Again, I hate them. He cried more than I have ever seen another guy cry. I thought he'd call or text his boyfriend right away, but he spent at least an hour sobbing. I just kept reassuring him that nothing is wrong with him, that he's not broken or damaged or something that can or needs to be fixed. I felt like a broken record, but I think it helped, or at least I hope so. After he calmed down I was able to talk to him the rest of the drive and dinner, heck most of the night. I told our parents he'd crash at my place cause it got late when we grabbed food and got talking to two girls, which immediately led to no fight or questions. They haven't physically hurt him, thank God, cause if they had I'd probably be in jail right now. Hell, before it's all said and done I may very well end up in it cause I am really furious with how they have been treating him. When they found out, they apparently trashed his room searching for anything gay, anything rainbow or not masculine enough, and destroyed anything found, including a couple printed pics he had with his boyfriend. They deleted all the pictures off his phone and blocked his boyfriend on it, which was pointless because apparently it's not just him using it in front of them, but one of them literally sits next to him if he uses his phone or computer. The rest of the time they keep them locked up from him. They search his room once a week still in case he finds a way to sneak something in, like prison style toss him room. The rest of the time they either don't talk to him or berate him / yell at him about how he needs to be cured / fixed. He cried a lot through our talking about all of this stuff, including me asking the tough question that he didn't want to answer. I asked about how depressed he has been, self-harm and suicide the works, guys, and fuck, I'll admit it, I cried too. He has been self-harming and thought about suicide, including on our hikes, making me realize I'm never taking that kid anywhere high up again. I made him promise me that he won't self-harm and that if he thinks about doing it to lie however he has to and call me. If anything happens to him cause of my parents, I will kill them. We talked about options and what can be done. I agreed to help him meet up with his boyfriend whenever possible and get him out of that house as often as possible. Which he did, talk to him in between us talking, which made him cry more but smile too. I promised him I'll do anything I can to get him out of that house permanently, emancipation, fight for custody, whatever. He hugged me more that day and night than I think I've ever hugged anyone, hell embarrassing to admit, but he even slept in my bed. He didn't want to be alone. He was able to see his boyfriend the next day before I had to bring him back home, which fucking killed me a little inside. I'm supposed to go over to help him with a project later today, Thursday, so we discussed that and I told him I have a few ideas that if I can pull one off I might be able to give him a spot to hide a phone cause I really want him to have one for an emergency. If I can make a spot, I'll get a phone for him on my plan to keep Stash to contact me and his BF. I also called an attorney. Soonest he can see me is Friday, but hopefully he can help me work on getting him out of my parents' house. In the meantime, I already have another overnight covered with camping. I was actually going camping with my best friend just now. My brother and his boyfriend will be joining us. Thank you all again and wish me luck on getting him out of this as fast as possible. Update 2. I appear to still be getting answers, so I'm gonna copy and paste the update I had posted in relationship advice. It's been a hectic week but worth it. My brother is now living with me. It's not a done deal by any means. We have a court date in about a month, but at the least till then he can live with me. I have an attorney who's been fantastic and fast with helping me get things done. He is trying to get the court date moved up. He said we have a few options to pursue and is very positive that no matter what outcome is made, he will be allowed to stay with me. Whether that be emancipation or me becoming his legal guardian till 18 remains a question mark, most likely me becoming his guardian. No matter what though, he has my support emotionally and financially. My brother is feeling great, but I am still gonna make sure he starts seeing a therapist, plus it will help with the legal stuff if he is. I'm relieved, beyond relieved. It was killing a part of me knowing he was in that situation. We were able to get a temporary no contact order against our parents so we don't have to deal with them till court, and hopefully if everything plays out like it should ever again. I'd say someday if they came around to him supportive maybe, but they weren't great parents before that. Honestly, had it not been for him, I'd have cut contact when I moved out at 18. Thank you all again for all the help and encouraging words. I read everything you folks had said. I told my wife that if she divorced me, I would quit my job to avoid paying her alimony. Wife of 20 years. We have 3 grown kids ages 18 to 25. I work full-time and make $110K, and my wife works part-time as a realtor and part-time as an event planner. She makes on average about $25K in real estate each year, but I do not know what she makes as an event planner. Her realtor income goes into our joint account along with my income, but her event planning income does not. We pay our bills from the joint account, and she also uses the joint account to buy gas etc. for her businesses. I told her that she needs to bring all of her income to bear, or at least deposit part of it into the joint account to help with bills. We got into an argument about it and she called me controlling and threatened divorce. She said she supported my career and I got where I am because she supported me. She said in a divorce she wants half of everything and alimony. I told her she can have half, but there was no way I would take care of her by paying alimony. I said I would give away all my possessions, quit my job and live on the street before I take care of her after a divorce. She got upset and told our families. My sisters told me that I'm an asshole for not wanting to take care of my wife if we split. My brothers were high-fiving me. Am I the a-hole? I told her that I'm never going to want anything serious because she's a single mom. I've been seeing this woman for around 6 months now. We met at a business event in the city after a mutual friend of ours introduced us. We kicked it off very well and soon after, started hooking up. She's a very intelligent and quick-witted gal and she's a catch in every sense of the word, but she has a child, 5 years old, from a previous relationship. After our first night at my place, she asked me what the deal was with us. I said that I'm not looking for anything serious and she said the same, so we agreed to just keep our relationship to casual sex. I have nothing against single moms, more power to them, but I would never have a relationship with one. Too much baggage emo, but that's just me. Last night, we were having a chat over a glass of wine at my apartment and she asked me if I wanted to take our relationship to the next level. I said no, I never really gave it any thought. I'm happy with what we're doing now. She said that she really liked me and wanted something more out of it than just casual sex. I told her that I wasn't interested in anything more. If you want something more, you'd have to pursue that with someone else. She said, but why? We get along really well, we have the same interests, similar outlooks for the future, marriage, kids etc. I said yeah, but I just don't think we're compatible. She kept pressing me over an explanation and I told her that I didn't have one. Sometimes a no is just a no and that's that. She continued to bug me about it and then finally I just told her that I would never consider anything serious with her because she has a child with another man. I don't want to be a father and raise a kid that's not mine. I don't want your ex stuck in our lives forever. If I ever have kids, which I want to, it'll be with a woman who only has my children. She got very upset about all this and perhaps I was a bit harsh in my delivery, but that's only because I was agitated from her pressing me. She started crying and said that she felt used and betrayed, but I never promised her anything. We literally agreed to keep our relationship to just sex. I don't see how I did anything wrong here. I don't think I led her on at all, but she insisted that I did her wrong. Ida?